some time, because I've just had the pleasure of working with two phenomenal students, who, and actually it's rather surprising that they're even here today, because when both of them approached me, I told them no, I won't do this. So that's either two conclusions could be made. One, that a no from me really means a yes, or that when you are extremely motivated, you can turn a no into a yes, so that it has the ability to allow you to have an impact and change lives. And that's really what these two students not only have done, but they've been working on with me, is the role of motivation in creating impact and change. Dylan is the other reason why I think it's rather significant is neither of them have any background in any of the stuff that they work on, that they really learned it themselves over the past year and a half. Dylan is a biology and economics major, and we'll be talking about some work that we're doing in Africa as well as here, and then we'll also be talking next about focusing on Caitlin Ostling, who is a health and society major who's been working with me for almost 2 years now. We'll be focused on how we apply these same mechanisms to helping students with ADHD. I'm introducing them together so we can save a little bit of time. So they will go one after the other. Start with Dylan.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Bing. And thank you, Engage Learning, for letting all this happen. I'm Dylan DeMuth, and when I first met Dr. Bing, it was because I was trying to get a seat in his Global and Public Health class. And the problem was that this class consists mostly of graduate students and university honors level students. And I was a sophomore with about a 3.0 who completely lacked the discipline or the focus that's essential to be successful in that class. So, as he said, I was instantly rejected. But I think Dr. Bing did see some kind of internal motivation and intrinsic passion to make health impact in the places that really need it. So he started asking me some more questions about my grades and the classes I was in and how I could get my grades up and things like that, and then presented me with a challenge that was, if I raised my grades between now, which is then, and then when his class came around again, then he would make sure there was a seat for me in his Global and Public Health class. And so after that, we started meeting a little bit regularly, and I started having the tools and advice and strategies that he was giving me built up. And every time I left the meeting with him, I realized that I was living more and more for my why and for my purpose. And everything I was doing was aligned with that. And then so fast forwarding a couple semesters of straight A's, getting into his Global and Public Health class and completing it, working with him over the summer on research, we had kind of stepped back and then said, wow, look at the change. Where else could we apply this? How did this happen? Is there any research that backs it? And could we scale it up to make impact that's bigger than ourselves? And so that is how this Engage Learning project was born. We're working with the GHC, the Global Health Corps, who is an organization that specializes in US and Africa to bring health and achieve health impact across the globe. The problem is that when the people who work with the GHC get to these places, they're often confronted with challenges like not being able to find clean water, not knowing when they're going to be paid next, that we don't see here in more private sector kind of work in America. And when the secondary problem that arises from this is that they wind up leaving what was once an intrinsic desire that pulled them to go to these places and was a passion within them for extrinsic motivations like easier personal and professional goal attainment in the private sector or monetary rewards. And so our goal is to keep them in. So we've designed an intervention using proven research on goal attainment and increasing motivation, some of the strategies and tools that Dr. Bing gave me and I have personal experience with, and designed exercises and homework assignments to create via webinar and conference calls an intervention that can increase goal attainment and motivation in these people. And so here's our methodology. We are doing a quasi-experimental design where we have an intervention group and a control group within the US group and Africa group, and all are asked at the beginning in the baseline to identify a goal, whether personal or professional, they are committed to attaining. And we see at the end, we assess them at baseline 3 months and 6 months, whether or not they've attained that. But the catch is that that's not actually what we're interested in measuring. Our real goal, the real question that we seek to answer is, are there any collateral benefits associated with attaining the goals that those in the intervention have set for themselves? Or is this intervention that's so focused on goal attainment generalizable? And I have reason to believe so. Because everything that Dr. Bing said, you know, he originally challenged me to raise my grades to get into his global and public health class, but looking back, so much more than that grew for me. There were so many more collateral benefits that extended everywhere in my life and in making impact. And so when we apply this to the group we're working with, to the GHC, the why of our research becomes so important. And it's actually for the same reasons that the why for me was so important in personal development and goal attainment. And that's that if we can leverage the motivation for positive global change that these people already have within them, and give them the strengths and the tools that they need in order to make the impacts that they desire, that brought them to these places. And we can give them all this that Dr. Bing can give me and see if it's generalizable to their lives as a whole, the effects will go far beyond just the GHC members themselves. The effects will impact some of the most important areas in the world to affect. And those are the places where goal attainment can mean the difference between life and death and where they're working. So that's all.